On Wednesday of this week, the Republican National Committee, the RNC, the Republican Party itself, officially filed a lawsuit against the January 6th Select Committee, where, of course, they named Nancy Pelosi by name, along with every other member of the committee, and said that the subpoena the January 6th committee recently filed against the company Salesforce was totally beyond the scope of what this committee is able to do. So in case you're a little lost, let me explain what's happening here. Back in February, the Select Committee did in fact issue a subpoena to the data company Salesforce. Now, Salesforce runs the email operation, I guess you would call it, for the RNC. And what the Select Committee is looking for is the actual data, the metrics on those emails that may have contained false information about the 2020 election prior to January 6th. Furthermore, the Select Committee wants to know if they were soliciting donations based on this false election conspiracy, and if any of those donations ended up going to help fund the effort, perhaps to pay for the Stop the Steal rally. All very relevant 100% to the investigation the committee is conducting. So clearly, on the surface, and even once you dive deeper into it, yes, this would fall within the committee's abilities and relevant information that they need to conduct this investigation. Were you making money off this? How many people interacted with the emails? How many people clicked on them? Where did they go after they clicked on them? Relevant information. But the RNC is terrified. They claim in their lawsuit that they're just trying to do this so they can destroy us as a political enemy. Not really. I mean, sure, that could be a wonderful side effect to this, but that's not the goal of it. If, in fact, it did destroy you as a political entity, it would be because it exposed potential wrongdoing on your behalf. Is that why you're so scared? Is that why you think that's what would happen? Because if you're hiding information that would make you look like a criminal organization, then is that not what you are? Right? Whether or not it's public at that point becomes irrelevant. If you think releasing information makes you look like a criminal, probably because there's some kind of criminal activity in the information that you're hiding. Now, again, we don't know. Pure speculation at this point, because the RNC doesn't want this data to be released. The data, of course, was requested by the committee via subpoena, and they said they have until March 16th to turn it over. This lawsuit will likely push that further down the road. However, it's important to also point out the fact that other courts that have been faced with these challenges to the subpoenas have pretty much all, at least in some capacity, told the committee that, yeah, you actually can have these. Sorry, challenger. This is relevant information to what the committee is doing. So that's where we're at with that. And of course, as I always say, we'd probably avoid a lot of these problems and the subpoena challenges if the DOJ would actually appoint a special prosecutor. And with Merrick Garland coming out, taking a much tougher stance against these things, maybe this might be the time to push him to appoint a special prosecutor. I was actually a little relieved this week to see an op-ed in the Washington Post about a day or two ago saying that it was time for a special prosecutor. I was disappointed to see that I was not mentioned in there, seeing as how I've been calling for that since longer than probably anyone else that I've seen. But nevertheless, doesn't matter who gets the credit for it, as long as it happens, so we can put an end to these challenges and really get going with this investigation. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.